the Matrix comes to understand that the Oracle is one of the grand programmers in the entire Matrix that everybody lives in. So the Oracle, being an Oracle, is different than being a psychic. You have to be a very advanced psychic to do the work, but you have to be much more than an actual psychic to work as an Oracle. And I've known for maybe 5 of those 7 years that I was working with people that I was in, that's actually what I was. And it's a little bit of a different profession. It requires, it requires a very refined intellect. I mean, you know, the Oracle at Delphi, she used to sit down and commence with Plato. And, you know, you have to have some interesting training to work in that capacity, because most of the work that I work on is actually not done with people. I work on, you know, impending earth cataclysms every day in my life. I meditate to heal and work on those particular ones that I see. Sometimes they come to pass and sometimes they don't. And so that's really, oracles in many sense are the people who not only know what the future is, but they're programmers of the future. You know, they see the jigsaw pieces of the future that we're all headed into, and they have to piece that together for good and for bad. And that's pretty, I've worked with businesses before. That's one of my favorite things to actually do, is to work with businesses on, you know, what the future of commerce actually looks like. And so I don't just read for people. Reading for people is a great thing, but I read for all kinds of structures, you know, businesses and stuff. So it all started when I was 25, but I didn't start doing the work full-time exclusively until I was 31. So there was a period of about 6 years in there where I did other things before working.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but some people would say, what are you talking about, advanced? Some people would actually argue, like, you know, what makes you any different from all of us? You know, if anything.
Okay. First off, everyone is equal, but we are not all the same. And what I will say is, I don't work on the intuitional level. A lot of people work on the level of intuition, and that's good, but intuition is a personal matter. When I read for somebody, I close my eyes and I go into a particular state, and what I hear off to the side is an entire dialogue that I'm pretty much translating for you. And, you know, I think people have a problem when somebody says, you know, I'm an advanced psychic or whatever, but they shouldn't, because the truth is you need to know who you are. And in order for you to know who you are, you have to have made predictions that are completely out of the realm of general understanding. And you have to have a lot of those under your belt. And you have to be right. You can't be wrong. There's a lot of people, they predict endlessly, and you know, the things that they get right, they'll tell you about, and the things that they get wrong, they don't tell you about. And generally, a lot of times, those things are pretty much equal. And you know, you hear about the hits, but you don't hear about the misses. And you know, yeah, it's. I don't have a problem calling myself an advanced psychic. I just don't. It's not anything that I think should rub anyone the wrong way. I mean, there's people who do this job and they're, you know, they're incredibly accurate, and that's why you'll have, you know, a multi-million-dollar company call you over and over and over again, because you get it right. You know, you tell them exactly how much money someone's going to put on the table, and you don't fool around with any of the stuff that isn't of interest to people. And so you have to have enough distance from what it is that you do to be able to evaluate yourself. And I think that, I mean, if you want me to tell you what the predictions are that I've made that have come to pass,
yeah,
you can definitely do that.
We'll definitely cover that, definitely. But I just have a quick question. Do you use any of the clairs?
Do I use any what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that word. Do I use what?
The clairs.
Do I use any tools? I can't.
Yes.
No, I don't use any tools at all, and I never have. I've never used a tool in my life. I've never used a card or a pendulum or anything ever. Right? And I don't. It's not that I don't think that there's merit in those devices. I've just never had the need to use one of them. I don't experiment with them personally either. It's pretty much when I read for somebody, I close my eyes and it's a complete, almost like an audio track that's playing off to the side, and I'm relating the entire thing to you. And sometimes, there's visuals that I'll need to articulate to somebody, but for the most part, I'm clairaudient, which means that I'm hearing, an exact conversation that I need to relate to you. That's how it goes. So no, I don't use any devices.
Well, that's good. That's really good. Could you briefly explain some of the stuff that you mentioned that came to life?
Yeah. Well, when I had been reading for, I think it was about 6 months, and I was reading in a little coffee shop in Michigan, and there was a woman who sat down in front of me, and she sat down and said, "I've been a psychic for 25 years. Show me what you can do." And, that attitude is really condescending, but I kind of don't pay attention to that. And I didn't know this then, but she was from the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I was trying to tell her that the big storm is coming. But those, now that I've lived here in Florida a long time, I realize that people don't really consider hurricanes that big of a deal until they're right on your doorstep. And I kept saying to her, it's coming, you need to take care of she lived in a mobile home. I was like, you need to secure it, you need to secure this side of the house, or it's going to fly off. And she just wasn't listening to me because she wanted to hear about her love life. And I was so frustrated with her, I just said internally, to God, this woman is not listening to me, and I'm tired of her, so you need to let me know exactly what the name of the storm is, because otherwise she's going to lose her home. And at that time I saw a big black cat arch its back, and I saw the letters K-A-T light up like a movie screen. And I said, listen, when the storm cat is coming, you need to pay attention, and it's cat with a K. And at that point, Hurricane Katrina had not been named, and nobody knew it was coming, and that was the storm I was telling her about, and in fact, it pounded the area that she lived in, and she probably didn't take any note of it at all. In 2006, I had an event right at the new year, and I told the entire audience that the then leader of Israel, who was Ariel Sharon, would be in a coma by the end of the week. And at that point, in a couple of days, he fell into an irreversible coma. Just a couple of weeks ago, actually, I was on the phone with a friend, and I had heard a story about something that was going on in Iceland. And I told her, I don't know if it's a power plant or what, but something cataclysmic is going to blow in Iceland in a couple of weeks. And so really my part of my specialty is locating where there will be cataclysmic earth changes. Not all of them beforehand, but the ones that I name always come to pass. I predicted for a guru who came and saw me that there would be a massive seismic activity about 500 miles